Hey Falcons fans, we have some hot news that just broke. Changes are being made around here, so without further ado, let's get right to it. Be sure to hit that like button if you're disappointed with the Falcons' current season, and what are your thoughts? Should Raheem Morris get another chance, or should he go immediately? Let us know in the comments. So, Falcons Nation, here we are again, and unfortunately, it's not the best news today. The Falcons have placed rookie running back Jase McClellan on injured reserve due to a knee injury, meaning his 2024 season is officially over. McClellan, a sixth-round pick, was expected to make a bigger impact this year, but he only saw action in 2 games, rushing for 32 yards on 13 carries. It's a tough break for the young running back, and with just 4 games remaining, it's safe to say we won't see him on the field again this season. But what does this mean for the team going forward? In a corresponding move, the Falcons signed running back Carlos Washington Jr. to the 53-man roster. Washington, a former undrafted free agent, spent the past 2 seasons on Atlanta's practice squad. The 25-year-old showed some promise during the preseason, rushing for 71 yards and a touchdown. While it's a tough loss for McClellan, Washington's addition to the roster provides some much-needed depth in the running back room, especially with just a few weeks remaining in the regular season. He'll likely serve as the third running back behind Robinson and Tyler Allgeier, adding some fresh legs to the mix. But it's not just rookie injuries that are having an impact on Atlanta. The Falcons' draft class this season has struggled to make a real impact, and McClellan's stint on IR is just the latest example. Atlanta's third-round pick, Bralon Trice, has already been placed on IR and will not return this season. Meanwhile, second-rounder Rooker Ororo is also on IR but has been designated to return, which is a small silver lining. Falcons' first-round pick Michael Penix Jr. has appeared in just 2 games this season, and with the team's current quarterback struggles, you have to wonder if Penix might get another chance down the stretch. Speaking of quarterback play, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Kirk Cousins. Cousins, brought in this offseason on a reported $180 million deal, has struggled immensely over the past month. He's thrown 0 touchdowns and 8 interceptions in his last 4 games against top-tier defenses, including the Saints, Broncos, Chargers, and Vikings. The Falcons are currently on a 4-game losing streak, and fans are starting to question whether it's time to move on from Cousins and give Michael Penix Jr. a chance to start. It's not an easy decision for head coach Raheem Morris, who has championed Cousins throughout this difficult stretch, but the pressure is mounting. Now, don't get me wrong, Cousins did play well in some early season games, and he did have a huge game against Dallas and the Bucs, but those were against weaker defenses. And let's be honest, after the Falcons lost to Minnesota, the same teams they beat in the early season are coming up on their schedule again. This might just be the perfect opportunity for Cousins to redeem himself. But will it be enough to convince fans that he's still the guy for next year? The stakes are high for Cousins, who will likely be under center for the remainder of the season, and his performance in these final weeks will determine whether he keeps his job for 2025. The thing that's really bothering Falcons fans, though, isn't just the lack of production from the quarterback, it's the consistent self-inflicted wounds that keep piling up. Head coach Raheem Morris has said it time and time again, but it's become painfully obvious that the Falcons are their own worst enemy. In each of the last 4 games, Atlanta has struggled with penalties and turnovers at the worst possible times. In last week's loss to the Vikings, the Falcons were penalized a staggering 12 times for a total of 127 yards, the worst mark in the NFL that week. These penalties, combined with the turnover issues, where Cousins leads the NFL in interceptions with 15, are costing the Falcons games they should be winning. Take last week's game against the Vikings, for instance. 2 Falcons turnovers directly led to touchdowns for the Vikings. These kinds of mistakes have plagued Atlanta all season, and with so much on the line in these final 4 games, it's a real concern. It's not just the turnovers, missed field goals and penalties are killing them too. Younghoe Koo missed 3 field goals in a loss to the Saints, which definitely didn't help the Falcons' cause. Now, we're heading into Week 15, and Atlanta's playoff hopes are hanging by a thread. The Falcons are on the road to Las Vegas to face off against the Raiders, who are ranked 14th in the NFL in rush defense. With a win, the Falcons can stay alive in the NFC South race, but another loss could be the final nail in the coffin. The Raiders are coming off a tough loss, and they'll be just as hungry for a win. The question is, will the Falcons show up, or will these self-inflicted wounds continue to haunt them? This is a make-or-break stretch for Atlanta, and the pressure is on. Will Cousins find his form again? Can the Falcons avoid the penalties and turnovers that have doomed them? Or is it time for the team to move on from Cousins and give Penix Jr. a shot to lead them into the future? So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Should the Falcons stick with Kirk Cousins for the rest of the season, or is it time for Michael Penix Jr. to get a shot? And how concerned are you about the penalties and turnovers? Now, if you've been following Robinson's journey since the Falcons drafted him number 8 overall in 2023, you know that expectations were sky high from day one. But as we enter Week 15 of the 2024 season, it's clear that Robinson has not only met those expectations, he's exceeded them. In June, Robinson and the team set an ambitious goal to use him in a role similar to the one the 49ers utilized Christian McCaffrey in his Offensive Player of the Year season. And guess what? That plan is working like a charm. Robinson has been a standout in every sense of the word. He currently ranks 4th in the league with 1,378 yards from scrimmage, including a career-high 977 rushing yards and 401 receiving yards. He's also found the end zone 9 times this season, 8 of those coming in the last 8 games. Talk about stepping up when it matters most. His 9 games with 100-plus yards from scrimmage are second only to Saquon Barkley's 11, solidifying him as one of the league's most dynamic playmakers. What's been key to Robinson's growth? Confidence and attention to detail. Falcons running backs coach Michael Petra summed it up perfectly: the game is slowing down for him. That's evident not just in the stats, but also in areas like ball security, where Robinson has been flawless this year. After fumbling 4 times as a rookie, he's tightened things up and hasn't had a single fumble in 2024, a testament to his offseason focus and work ethic. One of the most exciting parts of Robinson's game is his ability to force missed tackles. With 67 missed tackles forced, he's ranked 3rd among running backs, right behind Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs. And it's not just about the raw numbers. Robinson is turning 4-yard plays into 7-yard gains, breaking arm tackles, and making defenders look silly on a weekly basis. As Chris Lindstrom, the Falcons' star right guard, put it, there's no better feeling than watching him make a guy miss or pressing his runs and finishing. Beyond the highlight plays, Robinson has also impressed in areas that don't always show up on the stat sheet, like pass protection. His coaches and teammates have raved about his selflessness and willingness to do the dirty work, which is rare for a player with his star potential. Lindstrom even said Robinson's growth in this area shows just how dedicated he is to improving every aspect of his game. What's most exciting is that Robinson is just scratching the surface of what he can become. Falcons head coach Raheem Morris praised Robinson for surpassing even his own lofty expectations, not only in terms of production but also in the toughness and mindset he brings to the team. He can go as far as he wants to go, said Petra, and it's hard to disagree. With the Falcons' offensive scheme designed to highlight Robinson's strengths, it feels like we're witnessing the rise of one of the NFL's next great stars. Now, it's your turn, Falcons Nation. What do you think of Robinson's performance this season? Is he already living up to the Christian McCaffrey comparisons, or does he have even more room to grow? Let us know in the comments. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you're always in the loop with the latest Falcons news. Rise up!